3 New Senshi by Arcade Striker JK5, Arc 4, Chapter 6. All 28 beings stood in the cavernous ballroom, right in the center of Haruka Monsieur's house. Artemis and Luna sat on a table, drinking from a bowl of milk, while the other Senshi Jedi and ordinary beings milled about. Oh, Makoto worked overtime. Finally, Luke walked to the center of the room and stood beneath the skylight. He sent out a message to the Force. It's time. The chatter died down, and everyone turned to face the Jedi Master, who took a calming breath before speaking. I'm glad you're all here. There's much work to do. He turned mostly to Ami. Ami, you and Tion are the smartest of us. I need you to figure out where Galaxia's base is. The blue-haired genius and Elven Master Jedi both nodded. We'll find it, Master Skywalker, Ami said, adjusting her glasses. Luke smiled. I have every confidence in you, Ami. His gaze turned to Rey. I will be training Miss Hino in the ways of the Jedi. She has the potential to become a great Jedi. Yusaki suddenly raised her hand and spoke up. Master Skywalker, if Rey's got this Force thing, shouldn't all Senshi have it? He regarded the pigtail Senshi. I haven't had the chance to perform any other test. If you wish, I may give you the test. Yusaki squeaked to death and held her hands up before backing up a few steps. A test? No thanks. I must go a while ago. Jaina sighed in disgust from one of the tables. It's not a written test, Odongo head. Yusaki turned to Jaina and stuck her tongue out, pumping a chuckle for Luke. Maybe Yusaki's destiny lies elsewhere. His eyes suddenly clouded over, and his head dropped. Yes, her destiny is not to be trained by me. Mara quickly noted her husband and went up to him. She touched his arm. You alright? She asked. You zoning out on me like usual? Luke shook his head. Sorry about that. I thought I learned how to control visions. Makoto and Minako glanced at each other before stepping forward. Master Skywalker, we'd like to be tested to see if we could become Jedi. Luke glanced at his wife, then back at the two Senshi before nodding. Very well. I shall send a mental probe into your mind, one at a time. If you have the potential, we shall know. He stepped up to Makoto and concentrated, sending a mental probe into her mind. It was aimed at the more primitive areas of Makoto's brain, the reptile portion, for lack of a better term. The second that Luke's probe touched the area, he was telekinetically sucked backward against the wall. The Jedi Master bounced off and clattered to the ground. I love this. I really do. Oh, not because I love watching Luke get hurt, but I love the fact that it shows how awesomely strong the Senshi are. And after dealing with so many bad Sailor Moon crossovers where if this was in any other form, the Senshi would be deemed, you are very, very weak. And wimps, seeing this is so gorgeous. Let me have this. The Force is strong in that one, he gasped out. Leon Han held him up. You gotta set up a net to catch you next time. Luke smiled and slightly jabbed his best friend in the stomach. Fine. I'll do that as soon as you and Chewie let the fleet mechanics prepare the Millennium Falcon again. Makoto's eyes bugged out in surprise as she ran over to Luke, but Mara stood in front of her. She'll be alright. She started to tomboy. This happens every time you test someone for Force sensitivity. She turned to Minako, but the blonde was looking at Mara with a bit of fear in her blue eyes. I'm not sure this is a good idea, she admitted. Mara cracked her eyebrow. You sure? Makoto said you both wanted to be tested. Not a good idea to back out now. Minako's eyes tilted down for a moment. She bit her lip in concentration. Finally, she stepped forward and visibly braced herself. Mara smiled and then concentrated, sending a small tendril of thought through Makoto's mind. Within seconds, the former Emperor's hand was flung back by a mental shove from Minako's mind. Our flight was halted by telekinetic grasp from Jason and Zack. The two men lowered Mara to the ground. She brushed her jumpsuit off and nodded at the young man. Nice job. Luke walked to the center of the ballroom. Now that business is taken care of, we can move on. He looked over at Setsuna and thought back to the mental attack from Chaos. Setsuna, what is a starseed? Chaos mentioned it has stolen those from his soldiers, and Ami's scanners confirmed that. The green-haired Senshi had time thought for a moment. A starseed is your soul given physical form, Without it, your body is nothing more than an empty shell. It soon dissolves unless something holds it together, like the bracelets everyone in Galaxia's armies wears. Luke nodded to Jedi Master and Senshi. Then that means we don't have to hold back against her army. Usagi spoke up again. I don't think so. She stepped up to Luke and looked into his eyes. I believe we should try and save them, Master Skywalker. Mara's eyebrow held up. And what do you propose to save, Usagi? As Setsuna just noted, they're nothing but empty shells. Usagi's lower lip trembled as he seemed about to burst into tears. But the young woman immediately turned and stormed back to her husband. Mara held her hand to her forehead and massaged her temple. Okay, now that that's settled, she looked about. I don't think all of us can simply stay on the Jade Saber and Millennium Falcon. Anyone has a spare room? Wataru stepped forward. Anakin can stay here, she shouted. Everyone's eyes turned to her, prompting her cheeks to blush deep red. Well, she can. Han raised his arm. Yeah, Leia, Chewie, Lloyd, Lucy, and I will stay with the ships. Someone's got to keep an eye on them after all. Leia looked up at her husband, elbow in the ribs. Only if we get to go shopping after this is over. Ozzy slowly spoke up. Let me in. Leia looked at the young woman and nodded once, smirking slightly. Makoto looked over at Jason and Tennoka. You two can stay with me, she said, knuckles cracking. Tennoka nodded, her gray eyes flashed. We would be honored, friend Makoto. Luke thought for a moment. Rey, would it be alright if Mara and I stayed with you? The young priestess gasped in surprise, did nod eagerly. Yes! Grandfather and his apprentice will both be away for another 4 weeks. Oh, I don't get to do any my Ichiro voice? Darn. Senior F ran over to Jedi Master and grabbed his hand, pumping it twice. I would be honored if you teach me the ways of the Force. Besides, I'm an outgoing race shipper anyway. Luke nodded. Mara and I will do our best to teach you the ways of the Jedi. Tyree walked over to Ataru. Where's the bedroom? She asked. Ataru asked her a chance and eyes narrowed. Why? Tyree rolled her green eyes aside. Well, Dummy, I need to know where I'm sleeping. The raven-haired girl's violet eyes narrowed. I'll have to discuss this with Haruka and Mishiro. She turned around. Oh, you ran right into her two parents. Tyree, your room is upstairs, second room to the right, Haruka said. Tyree flashed the tomboy a toothy grin before dashing off, while Tyree simply flashed her a dirty look. You didn't have to do that. Haruka's face took on an air of sadness. Yes, I did, and you know it. She loves Anakin too, you know. Ataru clenched her fists, but tamped down on her anger. She might love him, but not as much as I do. Mamoru walked up to Sek and Jaina as they chatted amicably. I'd like to offer you a place to stay, Mamoru said. Sek glanced down at Jaina, then back at Mamoru. We'd love to, he said, shaking Mamoru's hand. Jaina's face blanched. May I talk with my boyfriend? Before either man could object, Jaina reached up and grabbed Sek by the ear, pulling him away. Are you crazy? She asked. Sek knocked her hand away from his now throbbing ear. Ow! I'm not crazy, Jaina. You two control very magical artifacts. They could be the key to sealing chaos away. His voice dropped to a whisper, erecting mental shields. Besides, I think those two should be trained as Jedi Knights. Jaina's mouth dropped open in shock. She leaned in and whispered through gritted teeth. Are you saying that Uncle Luke's visit is wrong? A look of disgust went over her face. Zack! That man is the embodiment of the Jedi Order! She pointed at Luke. It was now tiring with Mara and Leia. His visions are never wrong! Sek waved his hands, getting her attention back. I didn't mean that, Jaina. Besides, he didn't say she couldn't be a Jedi. All he said was that he shouldn't train him. Ooh, loophole. I like that. His girlfriend's brow wrinkled. Dizzy looked to the floor for a moment. Well, I suppose that's true. From a certain point of view. Sek nodded. Exactly. And he didn't say anything about Mamoru. I feel something for him. I'm pretty positive he's force sensitive. Jaina sighed. Well, okay, if that's what you think, we'll go for it. Sek smiled. Hey, trust me. The two walked back to Mamoru. We accept your offer. Mamoru nodded, eyes flashing. Great. Now all we have to do is get our ladies to get along. A sudden fist came from nowhere, hitting the young man's left arm. Mamoru, how could you? Usagi cried. You didn't even discuss this with me. The young woman pouted, causing Jan to grow. Oh, give me a break! He is not your pet! Usagi turned and stuck out her tongue, prompting Jana to do the same, and the men to roll their eyes to the ceiling. Off to the side, Sana, Tion, and Anja rapidly realized he had no place to go to. Ami spied the three women and walked over. I can have you three stay at my house. Tion smiled and bowed her head. Thank you, Ami. She held up her hand to her chin and thought for a moment. This will actually help our resets. We can coordinate better. She looked at Anja and Sana. Will you two help us? Sana shrugged. I guess. If it gets us to the fighting sooner, I'm all for it. Tion sighed and shook her head. Sana, you're a Jedi Knight. Battles should be avoided if possible. Young Melody shrugged nonchalantly. Hi, we already know to be fighting them. Might as well be prepared. Anja nodded. The kids are right. Tion frowned. Anja, don't encourage her. The young cargo pilot shrugged nonchalantly. Sorry. Jason dropped his flags to the floor. For some reason, Tenoka's bag weighed just twice as much as his. What was the same side? It's those lizard-skin armor of hers! He thought to himself. Tenoka stepped up to his side and nodded. It's the lizard armor, friend Jason, she said before walking off. The two stood inside Makoto's apartment, right above the bakeries he owned. It was night, and even though the establishment was closed for the evening, Makoto was downstairs doing paperwork and the daily activities of a small business owner. Jason looked around the small yet spacious apartment. Don't know how she keeps up with this. Tenoka nodded. That is a fact. Oh, very simple. She's Makoto. She's awesome. Just then, they felt the Senshi of lightning ascending the stairs to the door. A few seconds later, Makoto herself appeared. I hope this is all right. She wondered aloud, motioning to the apartment. Jason's eyes looked over the apartment again before speaking. Hey, I think it looks great! He exclaimed. Tenoka's head bobbed in once in agreement with her beloved, but she stayed silent. Makoto walked over to a series of doors, adjacent to the living room, that led to a cozy little spare bedroom. This is your room. You know, a part of me wants to pretend that that's her mom and dad's. Let me have this. Tenoka walked over and peeked in. There were stuffed animals on the bed with ferns, and other plants scattered about. Finally, a large dresser and vanity mirror dominated one wall. It is cute, she whispered, barely able to contain her queasiness. Hey, when you are the freaking Senshi of wood and lightning, you kind of get attracted to ferns. Jason's head popped up below hers. Hey, this is great! His eyes wandered to bed. Why is there only one bed? Makoto's eyebrows scrunched in confusion. Why would you need two beds? Aren't you two lovers? Tenoka's face turned several shades paler than usual at her question. No, we're not lovers! She blurted out. Jason's eyebrows shot up at her rather fervent proclamation. Okay. Should I put off wedding plans for a few years? He asked, rocking back and forth on his heels. Tenoka glanced over her beloved. In a flash, he grasped him and hugged it near his center of his ribs. I'm sorry, Jason! Jason merely whistled a grand. Sure thing, Tenoka. Grandma. Makoto rolled her green eyes and walked back to the kitchen. What do you two want to eat? She asked, opening several cupboards. The two Jedi looked at each other before Tenoka said, Whatever you prepare will be adequate, Makoto. The Senshi lightning looked at the happen princess, arched an eyebrow in wry amusement. She suddenly spun around, opened the door, and pulled out a headband. Makoto tied it around her forehead and pointed at Tenoka. I accept your challenge, Tenoka! A girl after my own heart. Jason glanced at Tenoka briefly. He reached out with a force and sent a message. Did you jealous her? I did nothing of the sort! Jason nodded. This is what I thought. He walked over to the kitchen. Makoto, I don't think you have to go. His voice trailed off as he witnessed Makoto turn herself into a human tornado. The tall brunette looked around the kitchen, mixing, frying, parboiling, and doing a dozen other things simultaneously. Oh my gosh. She must be moving at Mark 20! Sorry. I love Assassination's classroom. The young man backed up, not sure what to say or even do. He turned back to Talcon and said, I think we should just leave her be. Talcon nodded, a look close to fear on her face, as he witnesses Makoto's culinary kamikaze attack. The two left her to her culinary endeavors, and wandered back into the bedroom. Talcon walked over to the bed, and unceremoniously knocked the stuffed animals off before plopping down. Jason went to the dresser, and looked at himself. I hope we can defeat Chaos soon, he said, brushing a lock of his hair. Talcon looked over at him, and abruptly blurted out, Jason, will you marry me? Jason slowly turned and looked over at Talcon, a nervous smile forming on his lips, and equally nervous chuckles keeping his eyes also widened. That's good, Talcon. The Hobbit princess looked around him, not sure how to proceed. I am not joking, friend Jason. She looked back at him. Jason saw tears glimmering in her gray eyes. You're serious? Talcon nodded. I love you very much, and I will not imagine the galaxy without you. She rose to the bed and walked over to him. To Jason, she had never seemed more fragile or more vulnerable than at that moment. The two made eye contact briefly before Jason looked away. I don't know, he finally said. Dune! She's proposing to you! You will ask her! You will say yes! Before Talcon could offer a word of protest, he turned back to her and kissed her on the lips. It surprised her for a moment, but only for a moment. Their lips parted, allowing them to fully enjoy the kiss. Time seemed to slow down, or at least Talcon and Jason wished it would. The two lovers abruptly broke off as Makoto was approaching. Talcon went to the door, but Jason grabbed her, and with a surprising burst of strength, spun her around to face him. I love you more than life itself. I don't know what my answer is. Here, let me help you with this. Yes, you hot, sexy princess, I will marry you. I can tell you this. Wherever and whenever you need me, I'll be there. No! Your correct answer was yes, as in, this little fanboy has been so far through 4 arcs, has been watching your romance slowly develop and be perfected over the course of these 4 arcs. And he has been rooting for you. Now, you get over there, kiss her, and say, yes, I will marry you! Gods! It's harder getting these two together than it is with Angagatara. Luke and Mara walked into the room that Ray had prepared for them. There was a single bedroll on the floor, a dresser against one wall, while an electric lamp provided illumination. I like it. He put his hands in Mara's bags, while she looked out the window into the courtyard beyond. Although it was night, she could still see a large tree in the middle, with many pieces of paper tied to it. It seems so nice here, she sighed. Luke walked up to his wife and wrapped his arms around her shoulders, pulling her in for a hug. Mara's green eyes sparkled. Oh, Master Jedi, she said coyly. Their lips pressed up against each other's, and... Ow! Sorry! Apparently Luke just sent me a telepathic wipe around here and told me we're not allowed to watch him and Mara go at it. Ow! Tari watched as Hotaru dealt out cards. The two young ladies, along with Anakin, sat in the main dining hall of Haruka Mishiru's house, playing cards. The king is go fish. Jokers are wild, these cards are hot, Hotaru said while dealing out cards. Itty up. You know, I'm going to be finished with this story soon. I'm going to miss this Go Fish running gag. Hey, Arcade Striker, do you think you could bring this running gag back for Elements of Horror, Save Your Worlds, or any of the Pony Fix? Please? I missed this running gag. Tari picked up her cards and examined them. Ataru explained the rules to her, but some of the subtleties of his game escaped her. Her green eyes looked over the cards. Got anything? She asked Ataru. The young woman shook her head, sending her short black hair switching about. Tari nodded and reached out to the pile of the cards in the center of the deck. She pulled out a card and looked at it, and squealed out with delight. I got it! she exclaimed, laying the 3 other cards down on the table. Wataru let out a giggle at her own friend. Terry looked up at Wataru.
So, when does school start up again?
The teenager thought for a moment.
Actually, it starts tomorrow.
A worry looked across Wataru's face.
I hope I get to beat chaos soon. I hate to have any of my friends find out I'm a Senshi or a Jedi Knight. They think I'm weird enough already.
Anakin's blue eyes flashed. They think you're weird? Wataru nodded.
The strange thing is, I'm really the only normal one. I only seem weird by comparison.
Her violet eyes glimmered as he thought about her classmates.
We got a 10-year-old genius, a kid from Osaka who's even spacier than Monaco.
Wait! Play that line back again!
We've got a 10-year-old genius, a kid from Osaka who's even spacier than Monaco.
No. You can't mean... No, that description can only mean... Okay! Stop the fic! All you other bad Sailor Moon crossover fanfics! All you other Sailor Moon crossovers! You have lost! Okay, don't even try anymore! You have lost! Because this story has just crossed over Azumanga Daioh! That is so awesome! I can't get over this. Azumanga Daioh. Hotaru is in the same classroom as little Chio and Osaka. That is so freaking awesome. You wonderful, wonderful, thank you. I'm gonna take you home and keep you with me.
Wow, thanks a lot, Mr. User. I love you too.
Thank you, Osaka.
A space cadet who thinks he's the last descendant of some ninja clan.
I don't remember that guy. Oh well, I have a feeling when I get to that chapter, it's probably going to be something so shocking that I'm going to jump up and down for joy and probably just laugh my butt off.
And the teacher's less mature than I am.
See that a sigh.
Oh, sometimes I wish I could go back to your galaxy.
Are you kidding? I would love to have a class with Osaka! Anakin ran his fingers through his short blonde hair, letting out a half smile across his lips. Your friends sound somewhat interesting. I'd like to meet them. Wataru stifled a giggle.
I can guarantee you that Tomo would fall for you at the top of a hat.
Let's not try to tell a certain very tall girl about a planet full of kittens. What are you doing here? The same reason why I'm here. Oh, move out, Chio's dad. Tyree's eyes narrowed as he gazed at her best friend.
No,
wait! She scooted her chair over and wrapped around Anakin's shoulders, pulling the slightly embarrassed young man in for a hug. Wataru's teeth clamped onto her lower lip, drawing a small trickle of blood. At that moment, Michiru walked in.
It's time for bed, you three,
she said, eliciting groans from all 3 young ones.
You may stay up for 5 more minutes,
Tyree pleaded. Michiru closed her eyes and shook her head, sending her wavy aquamarine hair flurrying about.
It's getting late, and you know we have a busy day for us.
See, this is why Michiru's the mother. Haruka would be going, stay up late! This is why Michiru's in charge of the motherly things. Tyree bounded off her chair.
See you tomorrow!
She half shouted as he ran out. Anakin hopped out of his chair and tried to follow, but stopped when he felt tugging on his shirt sleeve. He looked back and saw Hotaru's small hand cleansing the fabric.
She started. If all we don't find anything tomorrow, would you like to go for an ice cream shop tomorrow after I get home from school?
She went down, her cheeks reddened.
They make a very good chocolate parfait there.
Anakin thought for a moment before struggling. Sure, Hotaru, I'd love to. Hotaru looked up, and a smile blossomed across her face.
Really?
She grabbed her hands and twirled about, sending her to tears along with her.
You'll be great!
She yelled before darting out. Anakin let a smile cross his face before it turned into a frown of confusion. What the heck is a chocolate parfait anyway? He stuck his head out before heading out and up the stairs to his room. It's something that makes me cry every time you mention it. What? That Nephrite episode is one of my favorites. It's possibly one of the few good dub episodes I like. Ami, Anja, Tion, and Sana approached the large two-story house. Anja's brown eyes went all the way to the top. Nice dig, Ami, she said, her eyes going all the way to the stairs above. Ami bowed while fishing for her housekeeping purse.
Thank you, Anja.
She suddenly noticed the older woman's gaze.
What are you looking at?
Anja's head stepped down. Just thinking of the John Jones guy. Still watching us, Ami. She looked down to the ground. He's not force sensitive, is he? He misses being telepathic. Ami's hand retracted from her purse and shook her head.
No, Anja. That's how a species is.
He went for her key again, rummaging around.
My mother's working the late shift tonight, so there'll be something. Anja, stop that!
Anja's gaze looked over her shoulder as he looked back. Hey, sorry, but that really kicked me out. Ami shook her head as he pulled out a key.
It's too horrible to do that, Anja. Now come on, it's getting cold out here.
Before she could open the door, it swung open, startling her.
Oh, Mama!
Kayko Mizuno stood there, looking at like an older version of Ami, right down to her short-cropped hair. It's nice to see you again, Ami, she said. Kayko then looked over at Tion, Anja, and Sana. Are these Senshi also? Ami opened her mouth to speak, but the realization struck her like a thunderbolt from Jupiter.
Mama knows.
Keiko's nodded, as it said to her daughter's thoughts. Yes, I know about your double life. She stepped aside and motioned for the four to come in. Ami almost mechanically, followed by her friends. Oh, Kayko, even though you all haven't shown up that much in the entire show, so I would just like to think that you're one of the better mothers of this whole entire freaking series. And considering the fact that out of the five of you, Usagi is like the only one who has a normal family life. But what about Minako? Both of her parents are still alive. Ah, but Minako's family life isn't exactly what I call normal. She's very, very antagonistic towards her mother. So, yeah. Usagi's like the only one who doesn't have a divorced parents, doesn't have animosity towards her mom and dad, dead parents. Or an evil father who wanted to sacrifice her for her power. 5 minutes later, Kayko was preparing tea in the kitchen, while Ami, Anja, Sana, and Tion sat in the living room.
I thought your identity as a state of Senshi was secret to you.
Ami's blue eyes glanced to the doors of the kitchen, then back to her friends.
I thought Mama didn't know,
she finally said. Tion shrugged.
Well, your mother seems to be taking it well.
Sana crossed her arms and slipped to her seat.
I don't think we'll be here too long, she said, but this is for us.
Anja looked around, not entirely sure what to say or do. Well, it is Ami's mother, she finally said. I think she'll be cool. At that, Kayko came in with a steaming teapot and 5 cups. You're right. You're right, she said to Anja. I'm cool with my daughter. She set the tray on the coffee table down and walked over to her daughter before bending over and wrapping her arms around her daughter in a hug. I've known for 10 years. Ami's blue eyes watered, and tears fell down her cheek as she gripped her mother's right arm.
Then, why didn't you say anything?
So that means Ami is 24 now. She croaked out. Kayko let a smile across her petite mouth. Oh, my dear daughter. Don't deserve you except me knowing. She loosened her grip and looked into Ami's eyes. I've neglected you for so long, and I wasn't sure if I was worthy to be included in that part of your life. Ami gasped and shook her head violently.
No, I love you, Mama,
she cried out, wrapping her own arms around Kayko for a hug. Kayko blinked back tears before looking over. So, can you introduce me? The other 3 women in the room shifted about nervously as they became to Sarah's attention. Ami motioned to them with her left hand.
Mama, this is Tion, Anja, and Sana. Tion and Sana are Senshi like I am, but I'm not sure about Anja.
Young cargo holder crossed her arms and snored. Gee, thanks, she said, although there was no malevolence in her voice and a definite twinkle in her eye. Tion rose from her seat and walked over to Kayko as she stood up. Mom, you have raised an excellent daughter. She's a fighter element of the state of Senshi. Kayko smiled tightly and bowed her head. Thank you, Tian. Sana jumped out of her seat.
Alright, this little reunion's been pretty nice, but is there anything to eat?
Her yellow eyes looked to the kitchen.
Even scrawny little melodies like me how to eat,
she said, pointing to herself with her thumb. Keiko nodded and walked over to the teacher. You're right. She looked around the living room at everyone. I shall have to prepare a feast the likes this house has never seen. She glanced back at Ami.
Would you like to help?
Ami's blue eyes flashed with happiness. Let out of the chair and raced to Keiko, tackling her with a hug. The two Mizuno women made their way to the kitchen to prepare a feast for their guests. Not again! Oh. Darn it! Why do these fix do this to me? So much heartwarming. So much love. I can't take it. Need to do bad fanfic next week to restore ripping energies. Gina and Sek entered the Chiba hot entrance, bags in tow. Young Solo looked around and sniffed. Not sure what to make of the place now. Dirt was in places that before seemed clean, and furniture was more worn than before. I can explain that for two reasons. One, it's Usagi. She messes everything up. Two, Usagi and Mamo-chan are very in love. Very in love. Mamoru looked up at him from the table and smiled. Welcome, he said. Usagi merely looked up from the couch and waved rather weakly. Mamoru rose from his paperwork and walked over, taking one of the bags from Zek. I'm afraid all we can spare is a couch. Fortunately, he falls into a bed. Jana looked up at her boyfriend. Don't try anything, she joked. A grin spread across Zek's face. I won't try anything. Will you? Jana swatted him on the arm, causing him to wince mock pain. Usagi looked up from the books he was reading inside.
You two done?
Gina looked over at the young woman and ran her fingers through her brown hair. Yeah. Sorry for disturbing your comics. Usagi harrumped and stuck her nose back into the air before getting up and walking out to the bathroom. Mamoru rubbed his forehead, blushed slightly. I'm sorry about that, he said. I think she just feels some competition from you, Jaina. Jaina walked over to the couch and sat down. Well, that can't be it, because I don't want to compete with a stuck-up little princess like her. She crossed her arms in front of her chest and stuck her nose in the air. Sek opened his mouth to speak, but Mamoru cut him off. No, she's right. Yusuko could be a little selfish sometimes. Yeah, but I wouldn't have any better of a friend. Sek turned and screened eyes to him and nodded, then hesitated before speaking. Master Chiba, may I perform a little experiment on you? The young man looked over at puzzlement on his face. What? A smirk went over the bounty on his mouth. I'll take that as a yes. Quickly erased into Mamoru's mind with the force. Reached the reptile portion of his brain. Half second later, he was picked up and flung across the room. Only a split second later, the force shove from Jaina prevented him from breaking his neck and from the impact against the wall. Okay. I know what I just said earlier, but considering the fact that Mamoru is a complete and utter dork, and I love mocking him, I just gotta say, Mamoru's strong in anything. Oh. Sorry. I can't resist an urge to tease the guy. He makes it too easy. But the truth is, he is Earth's guardian. He is the protector of Earth, yada, yada, yada. He does have some awesome attacks, and he's a great healer. Mamoru's eyes went wide as he remembered what Luke did to Makoto. I'm force sensitive? He sputtered out. Sek looked up at him and nodded, biting his lip in order to stop him from crying in pain. The afternoon door swung open. Usagi ran out, blonde pigtails bouncing behind her. What was that? She demanded, looking around the apartment. She saw Zack laying in front of the wall with a new crack in the plaster. Gina stood near the couch. Usagi's blue eyes narrowed. But before she could summon her transformation wand, Gina abruptly reached into her mind and probed the sentences of area of the Sensei's mind. Misaki let out a gasp as she felt the mental face and screamed, "No!" An invisible hand suddenly slammed Jaina back, knocking her against the wall and immediately sending stars in front of her eyes. Sek looked at the scene in confusion. "Stop that!" he yelled, unclipping and igniting his lightsaber. Mamoru saw that and surreptitiously reached into his coat and pulled out a rose. "I guess it's time to test this," he thought. With a flick of his wrist, he tossed the rose stem first at Sek's chest. Rose! The young man flashed red of corner of his eye and saw the rose flying at him. I do love the fact that they actually give you a rose on the SA figure of Tuxedo Common. Sek let go of the lightsaber with his left hand and grabbed the rose a split second before it struck to his chest. Almost immediately, a warm energy sprang through his body, and the rose in his hand flashed, and then changed color from red to reddish orange, matching the color of the plasma blade he held. Misaki and Jaina's clothes melted from a black jumpsuit and vest into a dashing tuxedo, complete with a white mask over his eyes, a black cape, and a top hat. Jaina swooned at the sight. "You are gorgeous!" Sek looked himself over and posed with rose over his left breast. "I am Tuxedo Eneth, protector of the fair Sailor Corellia." You know, I like this. I mean, I really do. I really like this idea. I mean, we all know that there's a whole bunch of Sailor Senshi. If you're a girl and you're a princess of the planet, you're a Senshi. Okay, it's the rule. It's kind of a big thing. You're a girl. You have a connection to the planet. You are a Sailor Senshi. It's kind of one of the big rules of the entire world. But one thing that the canon has never said, and being a lover of canon that I am, no, seriously, challenge me to a DBZ battle. I will own you. I can never recall reading anything in the official manga, wiki, or anything that's ever said that there are other tuxedos. And it would be kind of cool if each planet, while at the same time they have a Senshi to protect it, they have a knight. It would be kind of cool to signify the yin and yang. Mamoru smiled. "I knew it. I felt the same type of power I have from you." Eneth looked over through a white mask over his eyes. "Really?" Mamoru then looked at his wife. "Yuzuko, what Jaina did was the Jedi test. Proves that you can become a Jedi." Misaki's mouth dropped open in astonishment. But I thought Master Skywalker said I couldn't train to be a Jedi." She wondered, scratching her head. Eneth spoke to his words. "He said he couldn't train you. He said nothing about Jaina or I." Misaki pouted for a moment, his shoulders slumped. "Oh, I bet it'll be a lot of work." Jaina glanced down. "It's a lifetime commitment, Misaki." Her brown eyes shone as she looked back up and spoke her next word. "It takes a commitment, not unlike ruling Crystal Tokyo." Blonde's head shot over to Jaina. "You know of Crystal Tokyo?" she asked with astonishment. Tuxedo Eneth walked over to Jaina. "Setsuna told us about it while she was training on Yavin." A look of determination crossed Yusaki's face. "I'll do it!" Mamoru walked over to Eneth. "I'll also train. As long as I can give you some pointers on being Jaina's guardian knight." Eneth thought for a moment before extending his hand again. "It's a deal." Mamoru clasped his hand and pumped it twice. Eneth quickly took off his hat and rubbed the bridge of his nose. "Thanks. Now, could you start by telling me how to change back? This mask is itchy." "You know, I just thought about it, but this really works well because this also could give those guy OCs who want to be a Senshi so bad a way to be a Senshi without being a Senshi. They can be their own unique form. Not only that, but I feel like this doesn't depower the Senshi. It allows the Senshi to still be strong. It just gives knights. Knights along with really awesome royal guards, which is what the Senshi are. And I feel like this doesn't take away from anything." God, I love this fic. Mara walked up among the temple's open courtyard, with nary a care in the world. It was almost 2 a.m., and Luke was asleep in their room, tired from the past few hours of lovemaking. Woo! She wore a simple pair of slacks and t-shirt that belonged to Luke, while touring around looking about, feeling on her peace. The Jedi Master sat down on a bench near an old tree and stretched out, not only physically, but through the Force as well. So in tune was she, the red hair never even noticed the presence beside her until she turned her head to look at the ghost right in the eye. "Oh!" she cried out in surprise. Sitting next to her was an older man in rumpled robes. He was translucent and tints blue, but there was no mistaking the twinkle in his eye or the smile on his face. "It's nice to meet you, Ma J. Skywalker. I am—" The Jedi Master interrupted him. "Ben? Ben Kenobi?" She sat there in her seat. "It's nice to meet you. Luke's told me a lot about you." Ben nodded. "The honor is mine, my daughter." "What?" "Excuse me. To Wikipedia!" Okay, I just came back, and it didn't happen, but apparently Ben does have a daughter. Sadly, it's not Mara. But I don't give a flip. I'm accepting this is my headcanon now. It took Mara all of 10 seconds to realize what Ben just said. "Wait, my daughter?" Her jade eyes quickly grew the size of saucers. "Hey, J.J. Abrams, as long as you're making the new series, would you mind putting Mara back? I need her." Ben's mouth tightened, and honest-to-goodness tears fell from his eyes. "Yes, Mara. I am your father." "I always wanted to do that." She sucked in a breath and centered herself before continuing. "When did you know?" Ben's heart dropped. "I've always known." Mara's anger and sadness exploded. "Then where the hell were you?" "No, don't answer that. I already know." She stood up and pointed to him. "You cowered in the desert while Palpatine twisted my soul and burned the old Republic to the ground." The former Emperor's hand trembled with rage, not giving Ben a moment to retort. "Luke, Leia, Han, Lando, and the rest had to pick up the—" Ben gestured with his hand, and Mara was abruptly force-shoved back into her chair. "Palpatine found you in the old Jedi Temple during the beginning of the Purges." His eyes closed as he recounted the tale of the last time he saw his daughter alive. Ben hurried through Platt's wall. Well, the screens were reverberated through the walls. Clone troopers advanced in their new armor, cutting down those who stayed behind to protect departing transports. None of that mattered to Ben, though. He had to get to the nursery. He had to find his daughter. He arrived at the door, but halted as he sensed 2 powerful princesses in the Force. Jedi Master let out a curse as he saw 2 people he had hoped to never see again. Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader stood in front of a cradle. The only cradle with a baby still in it. "So, you Jedi anticipated my little raid," Palpatine stated from underneath his hood. "It's a pity you forgot one little one." Ben shouted and ignited his lightsaber, sending a brilliant blue blade forth. Vader's right arm disappeared into his cloak. When it emerged, he held up a blood-red lightsaber in a classic one-handed stance. "You will not interfere with the Emperor," he snarled. The 2 lightsabers met, sending out sparks. Vader's superior strength eventually forced Ben one step back at a time as he cut to the pressure on Ben's plasma blade. Finally, he parried the blade out of position and struck at the handle, severing it and destroying the lightsaber. "Oh, man, no, that was just wrong!" Ben's eyes burned with tears as he saw Palpatine reach into the cradle. "No! Damn you, no!" He tried to slide past Vader, but the cyborg held out his hand and telekinetically shoved the Jedi Knight back. Palpatine's orange eyes looked over the scrawling infant. "Soon, you will no longer cry," he rasped out. The foul being looked at Ben and sneered. "Go from here, Ben Kenobi. Know that you'll never see your daughter alive again. I have foreseen it. Okay, judging from the timeline, the way everything's happening, I'm going to guess that this is just after Order 116. But just a little bit after Vader got his suit back. Ben scrambled to his feet. But Vader simply struck him in the face, sending him peeling away. The last thing he saw before unconsciousness took him was a pair of boots walking away. The last thing he heard was the cry of an infant. Tears slid down Mara's cheek as Ben finished. I'm sorry. I didn't know. A smile crossed the Jake's face. It's all right. There was no way for you to. She finally looked up at him. Well, Palpatine was right about one thing. He never did see me while alive. Ben shrugged. A smile crossed his mouth. Well, I suppose he had to be right about one thing over the course of his reign. Mara let out a titter of laughter, covering her mouth to prevent more from escaping. Ben's blue eyes lit about. Maybe I should have had Yoda come along. He'd have you rolling on the ground. Jedi Master composed himself. Didn't look down with renewed seriousness. There was anything important you want to tell us? Like last time with Luke on Yavin 4? Ben shook his head. No. I simply wanted to see my daughter one last time before returning to the Force. He began to fade out, but before he vanished completely, Ben's voice echoed once more. I also wanted to see my granddaughter as well. And with that, he vanished, leaving behind a thoroughly perplexed Mara. Her hands reflexively went to her belly and turned inward, probing with the Force. See? Told you that morning sickness gag I did a few videos back was going to come back. It only took her a few seconds to confirm Ben's prognosis. I'm pregnant. I don't know how I know this early, but I know. Yes! She shot to her feet and let out a shout of pure, unbridled joy, then went back inside to Luke. Leia, Chewie, and Han sat in the Falcon's main cabin that night. Han sipped from a cup of Corellian whiskey and sighed. So, you think Luke could train those girls? Leia shrugged as he bit into a piece of bread. I don't know. Yoda once told him that a Jedi must unlearn what they have learned, but for some of them it would probably be impossible. His brown eyes flickered to the doorway as Lucia entered. I can't sleep, she sighed. Chewie motioned to the table, and an empty spot, and Lucia nodded, trying over and sitting down on the deck. Han offered her a shot of Corellian whiskey, but the young centaur declined politely, instead sipped on some water. Chewie looked her over and growled a question. Lucia's eyes glanced up to the ceiling. I'm nervous, she finally admitted. Leia smiled and took her hand. That's perfectly normal, Lucia. Lucia sighed. I don't know, but still this will feel right. She glanced over at Han and Chewie. I'll bet you two never get nervous. The old smuggler loud chuckled. Kid, the day you're not nervous a little is the day you die. He motioned to Chewie and let out a growl. Chewie and I have just been through every kind of adventure normal people could go through, and I still get to tears sometimes. The trick is not to show it, and cause others around you to get the feeling. Lucia thought about that for a moment. Thank you, sir, she said, smiling somewhat. Chewie looked at her and whined, and while Han copied and talked to him, You're right, Chewie. Who did walk in just now? Jess brought a smile to Lucia's face and giggled to her mouth. She rose to her 4 feet and walked back to the door into the bunks. Thank you again, Han, she said over her shoulder before walking off. Leia looked over and her husband smiled. Nice job, sir, she said, throwing a mocking salute. The former smuggler leaned back in his chair, crossed his arms behind his head, whistling nonchalantly.